Thanks to the data miners as well as the Red Dead Online Reddit, we have an idea for potential properties coming in a future update to Red Dead Online, locations as well as potential price points for each property. Not set in stone, but we will go over that. Most of you are probably aware of these locations and prices already. But I'm also going to throw in my thoughts, my ideas for what I would like to see when it comes to properties in Red Dead Online. I hope that they're more than just for flexing or a luxury, a status symbol for players. I hope there's actually more to the properties. But anyways, your thoughts, your views, opinions, ideas for what you would like to see when it comes to the properties, as well as where would you like to have a property, a roof over your head, four corners, whether it's all the way out west or somewhere in the south or the north of the map or all the way out east by the Lanahatchee River. Your thoughts, your views and opinions, ideas regarding properties, welcome below in the comment section. Once again, this comes from Red Dead Online Reddit, thanks to the data miners. So we have potentially 8 known properties. This doesn't mean it's only going to be 8. It doesn't mean it's set in stone. The same thing goes with the prices, which allegedly is going to be in gold bars. We will start from the cheapest property to the most expensive, allegedly, once again. At 45 gold bars, looks like you might be able to own a deed at McFarland Ranch. No, obviously this won't be Bonnie's house. It'll probably be one of the little houses that are adjacent to Bonnie's house, or it could be the other house right beside those houses, which is kind of sort of famous as a safe house in Red Dead Redemption 1. Once again, this will be for 45 gold bars. Next, at 50 gold bars, all the way up in Roanoke, is a shack in Butcher Creek. Yay! You get to hang out with them inbreds. Oh boy, oh boy. So that's 50 gold bars for a shack at Butcher Creek. Next, all the way over in Strawberry, at 60 gold bars, you can have, or quote-unquote rent, a hotel room in Strawberry. Once again, these prices are not set in stone, and these locations also not set in stone. So the hotel room in Strawberry, if you want to live in Strawberry, I guess there's going to be a hotel room for you to purchase for 60 gold bars. Next, out west, just north of Tumbleweed, is the Silent Steed deed. This will be 80 gold bars, which interesting about the Silent Steed is this house is already enterable. It has an interior that you can go inside and get loot, as well as like food items, even collectibles every now and then. I find it fascinating that Rockstar is going to have Silent Steed as one of the properties you can purchase, allegedly for 80 gold bars. This may turn out to be true. This may turn out not to be true, but it's one of the properties that the data miners discovered. Next is a little bit more vague locations. I don't know where these are going to be. The crop farm deeds, there's 2 of them. Crop farm deed as well as crop farm deed rustic. They're going to be 100 gold bars for the crop farm deed and our crop farm deed rustic. I envision these being in 2 separate spots, and we can go by the name crop farm, which means that these deeds, these homes, shacks, whatever they are, have to be somewhere near a farm that grows and harvests crops, like Braithwaite Manor, Caliga Hall, or just north of Saint Denis, where there's also apparently crop being grown. So that's the 3 different spots that I speculate that we might see the crop farm deed at, as well as the crop farm deed rustic. 2 different properties, each will be 100 gold bars, allegedly. There's a smaller farm not too far away from Emerald Ranch that could also serve as the crop farm deed or crop farm deed rustic for 100 gold bars, because it has an established interior similar to Silent Steed just north of Tumbleweed. So it's possible you might be able to purchase that as well, which does surprise me. You think Rockstar would leave those properties alone for players to continue to go inside, loot, and get collectibles from instead of making them properties. But apparently they're going to do that with the Silent Steed deed, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that they might do the same thing with that smaller farm not too far from Emerald Ranch. Next is the Lodge Farm deed for 125 gold bars. I think that this might be one of the little homes over by Emerald Ranch itself. And that could be true. It may not be true, but since Emerald Ranch is a farm that raises cattle as well as sheep and goats and chickens, It's obviously not a crop farm. It's meant for raising, livestock. So this might be where you can purchase the lodge farm deed for apparently 125 bars of gold. Once again, I could be wrong about that. I'm just going by pure speculation. The final property, the 8th one that the data miners found, is the most expensive and the one that a lot of people are kind of raising their eyebrows at concerning the price tag. There'll be a mansion, or at least one mansion in Saint Denis, that you'll be able to buy for 600 bars of gold. Now, go to the store in Red Dead Online. You don't have to. I'll just tell you. For $100 US, you can buy 300 gold bars, which means for 600 gold bars, it would cost you $200 US for 600 gold bars out of the Red Dead Online store, which means that the Saint Denis mansion, if this price tag is true, is going to cost you the equivalent of $200 US for you to buy, even if you do the dailies and other means to grind and earn gold in the game, even if you've never actually spent $1 in the store for gold bars, it's technically going to be a $200 mansion in Red Dead Online. So once again, I don't know if any of these price tags are going to be legit, if they're going to be higher or lower or in the ballpark, or even if these 8 properties are the only properties. Maybe there'll be more, maybe there'll be less. I guess we'll have to wait and see until the update with these properties actually comes out in hopefully the very near future. From the 8 properties that we just went over, there seems to be, I guess you could say, a category emerging, different, tiers of properties. At the bottom, you have the shacks. Then you have above that hotel rooms, then a home, a cabin, a lodge, and then at the very top, the most expensive of the properties, mansion. I hope that we actually have multiple options of mansions to purchase in Saint Denis and not simply just one mansion. Therefore, you have a whole bunch of people running in and out of the same mansion in Saint Denis after everybody spends 600 gold bars on it. That would be crazy. And there's quite a few mansions that are not established in story mode as being owned by, say, Bronte or the mayor, that could be used as a mansion in Saint Denis that players could purchase for that 600 gold bars. So I hope there's some variety when it comes to the mansions. I hope there's multiple hotel rooms, not just in Saint Denis, because there's also hotel rooms in Blackwater, as well as Valentine, Rhodes. Even all the way out in Tumbleweed, there is technically a hotel for lodging that could theoretically be used as a hotel room for you to purchase in Tumbleweed if you want to live in Tumbleweed. Plus, speaking of mansions, there's quite a few mansions scattered around the map besides Saint Denis. The most notable is that big giant house just outside of Tumbleweed. There's a few really nice big houses outside of Blackwater that could serve as mansion-type properties. In other words, I'm hoping that despite the fact that we officially know of apparently 8 different properties we're going to be able to buy, I hope we have more variety and different places across the map besides these 8 in order to purchase a property. Now, another question a lot of people have is, well, how many properties are we going to be able to buy? Will we be able to purchase all 8 properties, or are we going to have to, pick one as of right now? And then in the future, Rockstar may let us have 2 properties and 3 properties, similar to what they've done with Grand Theft Auto Online over the years when it comes to their garages and apartments. In my opinion, I feel like it's going to be a one-and-done deal. You'll only be able to buy one property at a time. You'll only be able to be an owner of one property. I think it would be better if Rockstar simply just said, you know what, if you want to buy all 8 properties, it's your gold, feel free and do so. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I believe that we'll be only able to own at the very least one property. Maybe they'll let us own 2 or 3 properties at a time. Either way, it looks like it's going to cost gold bars. Originally, I thought that the properties would be non-story. They'd have nothing to do with any characters from Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online, no stranger missions, and they would not have an established interior. But Silent Steed kind of throws that theory out the window. So if Silent Steed is going to be a purchasable property, then there's definitely other houses and farms and cabins scattered throughout Red Dead Online that could eventually serve as properties as well. As far as I know, if we go by this data, this information, there isn't going to be a property in Van Horn, even though Van Horn is a nice, lovely tourist destination. But there's technically was a hotel in Van Horn. You could theoretically make that purchasable as well. Ansburg has several homes, really small minor homes. One of them you could buy and have as your home if you want to live in Ansburg. We already know that there's allegedly going to be a shack in Butcher's Creek that you'll be able to own. And maybe with the crop farm deeds, those will be one in Braithwaite, maybe one over in Caliga Hall, or one north of San Denis. Now, when it comes to Ambarino, this one is a bit troublesome. It appears that 4 of the 5 states, there might be properties for you to purchase, depending on which state you want to live in, with the exception of Ambarino. I went up into the snow, I looked at Coulter, I looked at Ewan's Basing, and all the buildings are abandoned, they're derelict, they're falling apart. I don't think that any of those properties would actually be purchasable if Rockstar does indeed give us properties to buy in the next update. So unfortunately, for those of you that wanted to live in Coulter or even Ewing's Basing, I just didn't see anything over there at either one of those ghost towns that would work as a quote-unquote property. There is a small handful of buildings, I think like 2 or 3 buildings at Wapiti that could theoretically serve as a property for you to buy. But at the same time, I feel like Rockstar has plans for Wapiti, eventually possibly introducing the Wapiti tribe, because at this point in 1898, you would have to believe that the Wapiti Reservation has the tribe there, with Rainsfall, Eagleflies, Peta, also Captain Monroe running around, and a few others. I think it's only a matter of time before we see the Wapiti tribe make an appearance in Red Dead Online. So I don't think that they're going to use any of those buildings on the Wapiti Reservation for a property. So it looks like, unless I'm missing something, we may not have a property to purchase up in Ambarino, but possibly the other 4 states like New Hanover, Lemoyne, West Elizabeth, as well as New Austin. Some of you are probably wondering, well, what's the point in owning a property in Red Dead Online other than flexing or having a quote-unquote luxury item to show off and brag to friends and posse members? That's why I hope that there's more to these properties than just the sake of having a property. Now, the problem that I see arise is the categories. Like, for example, Kane suggested if they ever add a heist update to Red Dead Online, the ability to plan heists around a bank robbery, a train robbery, a stagecoach robbery, or a riverboat robbery, or maybe even like a mansion robbery, you would maybe need like a heist planning room, similar to the high-end apartments in Grand Theft Auto Online. So that would only work for like more expensive properties, like for example, maybe a property that's 100 gold bars, like a crop farm deed, or all the way up to the mansions. Like those would be the quote-unquote high-end properties in the game. And maybe they're the only ones big enough to have an extra room for a quote-unquote heist planning room. So that's definitely one of the benefits, potentially, for a property in Red Dead Online. Interior options, definitely need that, so we could have a little bit of customization. Even in the cheapest of properties, like the shacks, would be nice if we had some options there. And it really is going to depend on the property. Like, the bigger the property, the more options you're going to have inside, obviously, hopefully. So I would like to see, interior-wise, a wardrobe, weapons locker, a bed, maybe some of them have a bathtub, mailbox, lockbox option, a fast travel map so you could fast travel to anywhere around the map in your property. I would also like it to have like a stove or like a fireplace where you could do some cooking and crafting inside your property. Have the property itself as a spawn point so you could spawn into that property when you're loading into the game. Very similar to properties in GTA Online. I would also like the ability in maybe some of the properties, or to a varying degree depending on how big of a property you buy, the ability to have like on display some of your trophies like belt buckles, or legendary bounties you've taken down, or legendary animals you've hunted, scattered or picked and choosed, like on the walls or like on tables and whatnot, or like a carpet made out of that new legendary bear. That would be kind of cool if we actually had that ability for legendary bounties, legendary animals, reward buckles, to put those on display throughout the interior of our property. Another thing I would like to have inside the property is the ability to show off your favorite outfit or outfits. Maybe like one outfit or 3 outfits or up to 5 outfits, depending on the property that you end up purchasing. and you can simply select it like, okay, I want this outfit here, this outfit there, and that outfit there. That way it's just something else you can show off inside of your property. Next, I would like to see a desk in our properties, the ability to use it for writing to the individuals that we have met through the roles in order to make managing the roles a little bit easier. For example, with Crips, if you need a resupply, if you just want to send him like $20, you could do it by, like putting $20 in a letter and mailing it to him via your desk and your property. Next would be Madame Nazar. If you have like a collection or just simply just collectibles you want to mail to her because you don't know where the hell she is, and for convenience sake, you just want to mail it to her, and then she'll send you back the money once you mail it to her. That would be really cool. Same thing with Harriet. Instead of going to Harriet, even though we know where Harriet is, it'd be cool if we could like just mail the samples to her, and then she would send us money, very similar to Madame Nazar through the desk. And finally, with Marcel and the Moonshine Roll, if we could just like send him a letter telling him, hey, prepare a batch of moonshine with this flavor, this strength, instead of actually having to go to the Moonshine Shack, and then he can get to work on it right away. And once it's ready, then we can fast travel to the Moonshine Shack and complete the sale. It would be really useful to have a desk like that to write our telegraph to individuals that are part of our current roles in Red Dead Online. And finally, a gaming table for certain properties. With all this other stuff I've mentioned, it'd probably be hard to put it all into a shack, but maybe the bigger properties like a mansion, for example, a gaming table where you could purchase a variety of different games like poker. You could play poker at your personal table with friends, dominoes, five-finger fillet, liar's dice. I don't think they would add blackjack because you actually need an NPC dealer to do blackjack. Hopefully we'll eventually get blackjack and free roam sooner rather than later. But at the same time, a gaming table inside of our properties would add additional value and reason for us to purchase a property in Red Dead Online, along with my other ideas. Anyways, that's my thoughts, my views, and opinions regarding properties. Hopefully coming sooner rather than later in Red Dead Online. And now I'm curious for what you think about all this. Are you interested in a property? What kind of property? You want a shack, a hotel room, a cabin, a ranch, a mansion? And what all would you like to have inside of your property? What would motivate you to spend the gold in order to purchase that specific property? Your thoughts, your views, and opinions, ideas regarding properties in Red Dead Online, as always, welcome below in the comments section.